Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Keith here again, back at Coding Blind Tech, and in this video, we're going to be looking at how to create our first request in Insomnia. So again, Insomnia is a tool for us to be able to make API calls and test our APIs. So as backend developers, that is something you'll be doing pretty often, and Insomnia is a great tool for the job, especially if you're using a screen reader. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So in the last video, if you didn't catch that one, I'll pop a card up now that way so you can go check that out. I'll also put a link to that video in the description, but we go over a little bit like an overview of what Insomnia is, and then we also learn how to install Insomnia. All right, so what we want to do now is we want to open up Insomnia, and then we're going to open up the docs for Insomnia in order to follow how to make a request. So the first thing we're going to do is open Insomnia. So I'm going to press my Windows key,
Start window. Search window.
and we're going to type Insomnia.
Insomnia. Insomnia
There we go. So I just typed INS. It pulled it up for me. I'm going to press enter.
Ins.
So we're going to let that open up.
Insomnia. Menu bar.
So, and we're on NVDA Screen
Insomnia.
Reader by NV Access as well. All right, so Insomnia has
Edit
popped
multi-line blank.
up. It immediately puts my focus. Now, I've already got some projects and stuff in here. So it put my focus right into the field where we actually type the URL that we want to make the API request to. But right now I'm just going to press Control plus
Out of
Home
edit navigate.
just to get to the top of the page. All right, so now we're going to go open up the docs. I will provide the link to the documentation for Insomnia in the description, but I've already got that open.
Videos column 3. Downloads column 4 of 11. Download dash insomnia. Overview.txt.
So we're just
Download
going to
dash
alt
insomnia dash.
tab
Download.
over. I've got the Brave browser open, and we are on the home page of the documentation. So we have a list of items, and the first two are install Insomnia and then make our first request. So we're actually going to go to the top of the page.
Out of list. Out of list.
So Control Home, and then we're going to press H to go by
Welcome
headings.
to Insomnia docs heading level 1.
So we hear Welcome to Insomnia Docs. That's our first heading. Then we're going to press K as in kilo to go by
List
links.
with 3 items. List with 5 items. Install Insomnia visited link.
So we hear list of 3 items, list of 5 items, and then we have install Insomnia. I'm going to press K again.
Send your first request visited link.
Send your first request. All right, so we're going to press enter on this.
Send your first request bar Insomnia doc.
All right, so this is going to be a list of instructions on how to send your first request. So we're going to go to the top of the page with Control Home.
Navigation landmark.
All right, and then we're going to press H.
Send your first request heading level 1.
And that goes to our first heading, which is send your first request. And we're going to down arrow and let it read from here. I promise I won't let it go long.
Insomnia is an API client that enables you to send API requests outside of your terminal, and without writing any code. This means you don't have to write any finicky CURL requests or backend code to quickly retrieve information, push content to a database, and do anything else a given API enables you to do. In this guide, we take LL talk specifically about HTTP requests. This will off a first request together. If you want to learn to send gRPC and GraphQL requests, see our more comprehensive link requests documentation.
All right, and the little ending sentence there about GraphQL and gRPC, that will definitely be something that I will go over in a video further down the line. So that kind of gives you a general overview of what, why insomnia is important and how it helps you. So we're going to come on down to our
List with
list.
3 items. Bullet link API request basic. Bullet link send a request to mockbit. Bullet link send.
So that's kind of our table of contents that we're in now.
Out of list heading level 2 link send dash your dash.
So we kind of get out of there. We're going to keep down arrowing.
Here tick as some common terminology that tick LL help you navigate the world of APIs :
So here's some common terminology. I suggest you go through this and just understand what all that means, because it's definitely going to help you get through the interface and then understand how to collaborate with other back-end developers.
List with 2 items. Bullet request. Bullet endpoint : with the endpoint / of the pet store tick out of list
So
and
I'm
API.
just going to go through that and let you read that on your own time.
Elements you may need are : list with 3 items. Bullet URL :
All right, so it's going to kind of go through the elements we may need when we send a request. So again, this is going to be stuff that we go through whenever we go through the list of how to actually create our first request. But I definitely suggest that you go through and read all of this once or twice just to make sure you're familiar with, again, the terminology and the understanding of what the purpose of the Insomnia tool serves.
Bullet request type. List with white bullet. Send dash your dash first dash request send dash a dot dot dot.
All right, so I just press H to get to my next heading. That way, so we can get to the send the request list, and then we're going to go ahead and get started through this.
We're going to use link mockbin to test how to get request dot.
So it's basically saying we're going to use mockbin to test out a request. So there are a few steps we're going to have to do here to get this taken care of. However, it will not be too rough. It's pretty intuitive.
Makers of Insomnia write paren that enables you to create mock endpoints so you can easily test out API.
So that's going to give us the ability to make mock endpoints. Typically, you would already have these endpoints built out inside of your API. And in future videos, we will be building out a REST API inside of Django with Python, and that will be an instance where you'll see me use this.
Functionality without list with 10 items 1 dot. Go to link mockbin dot.
All right, so we're going to have to go to Mockbin and create an account. So the way that I'm going to do this is my focus right now is on the beginning of this line, and I'll read the current line with the numpad 8 key.
1 dot. Go to link mockbin dot.
So it wants us to go to Mockbin, so I'm going to press Tab to get to that link.
Mockbin link.
All right, and then we're going to press the Applications key, or you could do Shift F10.
Menu selected submenu.
And we're going to down arrow to open link in new tab.
Open link in new tab T1 of 9.
All right, enter.
Send your first request.
Now that's going to open the link in the new tab. So if you hold down Control and press Tab,
Mockbin by Kong dash break.
now it's going to bring us over to Mockbin. So I'm just going to go to the top of this page.
Frame unlabeled graphic to get missing.
And then we're going to go by headings.
Mockbin heading level 1.
All right, so we get our first heading. We're going to down arrow from here.
Mockbin allows you to generate link custom endpoints to test between libraries.
And you can read about all this. I'm just going to go through and go ahead and create an account.
Link view sample bin link create bin link send a request. Separator space link note between libraries comma.
Well, we're at Mockbin, so what we're going to do is press Control Shift Tab.
Send your first request bar in some.
That's going to get us back to our Insomnia send your first request. And we're going to see what step 2 is because I didn't want to jump ahead and I kind of did.
2 dot. Click create bin dot. You take L.
Okay, so we'll need to create bin, but let's let it finish reading this line.
2 dot. Click create bin dot. You take LL be taken to the bin builder dot.
Okay, we'll be taken to the bin builder. So I'm going to press Control Tab to get back over.
Mock bin by Kong document.
And then we're going to go to
View sample bin link. Custom endpoints link. View sample bin link. Create bin link.
And I'm just navigating by using K's and kilo to go by links. And you can do Shift K to go backwards and then K to go forward. So I'm on Create Bin now.
Mock bin by Kong. Banner landmark.
All right, so I'm going to go back to our Insomnia page, Control Shift Tab.
Send your first request.
And we're going to down arrow to step 3.
3 dot. Add some text in the body input dot.
Add some text in the body input.
Graphic enter text in the body dot. Enter body text dot. This text will be returned when you make a get request to.
All right, this text will be returned.
This endpoint dot.
When we make a request to this endpoint. So we're kind of putting data on our server right now. It's kind of the, if you want to think about it
4
that
dot.
way.
Click.
And then we'll have step 4. So we're going to go ahead and do step 3.
Mockbin by Kong document.
So I press Control Tab to get back over to the Mockbin tab. And I assume
Unlabeled.
There's going to be a text field here. So I'm just going to go to the top of the page with Control Home and then press E.
Clickable 200 spin button required editable 200.
All right, I'm going to up arrow.
Code. Heading level 4 status.
Okay, I see. So the first thing we have is our status code. We do expect a 200, so we will want to return a status code 200.
Code. 200 spin button required. Okay, edit required. Okay.
And that's okay.
Heading level 4 headers. Header.
We're not going to have any headers.
Name edit required space.
So I'm just going to press E.
Value edit. Name edit required. Value edit. Button no indent plus. Clickable heading level 4 body.
All right, then we have our body. So you could actually get to your body by pressing H to navigate by headings. And then I'm going to press E to get down to the body field.
Body content edit multi-line. Body content edit
So in our body, I'm just going to put hello, comma, space, world, exclamation mark.
Out of edit mime type. Heading level 4 preview.
I'm not going to worry about the mime type.
Heading level 4 preview. Left brace.
and then we have a preview. Let's go look at step 4,
Send your first request bar in.
or let's go finish out step 3, make sure we didn't need to click
This
anything.
endpoint dot. Graphic enter. Add some text in the body input dot. Graphic enter. This endpoint dot. 4 dot.
All right, nope, we didn't need to do anything. So step
This endpoint dot.
4,
4 dot. Click create bin dot. You take
okay, click create
this
bin,
endpoint dot.
and
4 dot.
then,
Click create bin dot. You take LLC a new page with a bin identifier dot.
okay, we'll see a new page with a bin identifier.
Mock bin by
So from body,
clickable multiparts. Preview heading level 4. No next heading. Clickable body heading level 4.
I'm just going to do a control NVDA modifier key F
Find
to
dialog.
find, and we're going to find
Selection removed.
create, and then press
Mock bin
enter.
button create bin.
And then we have a button create bin. We're going to press enter on that.
Mock bin by Kong. Banner line.
Okay.
Bin identifier colon.
So if I navigate by headings, I come to the first heading, which is bin identifier. So now we're going to go back and go to step 5.
Send your first.
So control shift tab to get back to our tab.
5 dot. Click visit in browser and see your inputted body text dot.
So click visit in browser and see our inputted body text.
Going to send our request dot. 5 dot.
And
Click visit in
then,
browser and see your inputted body text dot. The URL for this text is where we tick re.
okay, the URL for this text
Going to send our request dot.
is where we're going to send our request. So we're going to get a URL here.
Mock bin by Kong document.
All right, so if we go
Banner landmark.
down,
Out of list heading level 3 bin identifier colon. Left brace. 2 space quote status quote colon. Frame clickable banner landmark button. Copy to clipboard button. No next button.
oh, you know what? My brain lapsed
5
there
dot.
for a minute.
Click visit in browser and see your inputted body text dot. The URL for this.
So click visit in
Going to
browser.
send our request dot.
All right,
Mock bin by
so
Kong
I'm
document.
just going to go to the top of
Out
the
of frame banner
page.
landmark navigation
Give me
landmark visit
one
link space
second
mock
to
bin by
get
link
some
Kong.
coffee. All right, had to have a coffee break. Hopefully you did too. All right, so we are going to, we went to the top of our page and we're going to control NVDA modifier key F,
Find dialog.
and we're going to find visit.
Mock bin. Link visit in browser.
All right, visit in browser. We're going to
Hello
press
comma.
enter on
World
that.
bang. Hello comma.
Okay, now all we have here is a page that has our message that it sent back to us, the hello world. Now, what they're saying is the URL is going to be what we use to send our request in Insomnia. Now, if you hold down your Alt key and press D as in Delta,
Toolbar. Address.
that will focus your web browser URL. And then what we want to do is just Control C as in Charlie at the same time to copy it. We can check what's on our clipboard and NVDA screen reader by holding down the NVDA key and then pressing C as in Charlie.
https mockbin.org/bin/443b7c-3206-4050-8cc.
All right, I'm not going to let it finish reading it, but you hear that our URL is there. So now we have that on our clipboard. We're going to open up Notepad.
Start
So I'm
with
going to hit the Windows key, type Note, press Enter. Should
note.
pull up your Notepad.
Untitled dash notepad.
And I'm just going to do a Control V as in Victor in here and paste it.
https://mock.
There we go. So that's pasted in. Now we're going to move back over to our web browser.
mockbin.org/bin.
All right, we're going to do a Control Shift Tab
Selection remove.
because now we're going to move on to our next step.
6 dot. From your Insomnia dashboard comma. Create a new document or collection dot.
Okay, so from our Insomnia dashboard, we're going to create a new document or collection. So what we're going to do is just create a new document. I'll show you how to create a collection in a video uh, in the future.
Start with
All right, so
Insomnia
we're
column
going
3
to
3 of
Alt
12.
Tab over to
Insomnia.
Insomnia.
Link.
Now, if we go to the top of our page in Insomnia and then with Control Home and you down arrow, I'm just going to let you listen.
Button. Out of list button no intent star. Button 29,816. List with 2 items link off dash ms dash API. Slash. Menu button collapse submenu off dash ms dash API. Out of list button login. Button sign up.
Okay, we're at login, sign up,
Complementary landmark menu button collapse submenu no environment.
and then we have no environment,
Button cookies. Filter
cookies,
edit space.
then we have a filter.
Menu button collapse submenu.
This menu button right here is options that you may want to filter by, like newest, oldest, things like that.
Menu button collapse submenu.
This second button after the browse or after the filter search bar is where you would create either a new request or a new folder, something of that nature. So this is where we're actually going to be able to create our new document. So I'm going to, or you could also use the keystroke control N as in November, and that will do the same thing. So what we're going to do is hold down, we're actually going to press spacebar on this unlabeled area that I showed you.
HTTP request 1 of 5.
All right, so we're going to create a new HTTP
GraphQL.
request. So we want
HTTP
to press enter on that.
401 unauthorized. Insomnia document.
And that 401 unauthorized, you were just hearing a message from one of my old requests. Now, what's going to happen is as soon as you create a new request with either control N or by doing it the way I just showed you, it will automatically put your
Out of edit clickable
focus
no indent H.
inside of the URL bar. So if you still have your link from the
Send your first request bar.
if you still have your
Mockbin.org.
link from the mockbin page that I showed you where we did the hello world, then
Insomnia.
what you want to do is
Edit
you
multi-line
want
space.
to paste it in here. So I always, for good measure, do a control A to make sure I select anything that may be in here, and then I do a control V as in Victor, and that will paste my URL. Now here's the downfall. You don't get any feedback here. I can
Blank. Blank. Blank.
left arrow,
Blank.
right
Blank.
arrow,
Blank.
no feedback. I
Blank.
can
Blank.
delete, no feedback. So the way to read that you got the correct information in here is to press escape and then down arrow one
Out of
time.
edit clickable no indent https://mockbin.org/bin/443 b7c-3206-4050-8cc2-3068b3e00f4. Button send.
And there we have it. That's your URL. So now we actually can send this, but before we do, I want to make sure you know how to name this request. So
Clickable HT.
if you go to the top of the page, control home.
Navigation landmark list with 2 items link space.
If you press the E key for edit,
Complementary landmark filter edit.
you'll hear filter. If you press the B key button,
Menu button collapsed submenu.
you'll hear that first unlabeled button, which is where we can choose our filter option.
Menu button collapsed submenu.
Then we have our actual menu where we can create a new request or new folder. Now that was me pressing B again. I'm going to press B again.
List with 14 items get clickable new request button.
And then the first thing I come to is get new request. Okay, this right here is my request that I just created. Get is the method that we're going to use. And then we can actually rename this though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press my applications key. And then for you, if you just want to press, I believe we can press enter on, no. You either need to press your applications key or shift F10. All right. But you're going to need a down arrow after you do that.
Button no indent new request.
Okay, and then you'll hear new
Menu
request.
button collapsed submenu space. Button no indent CBT-API. Menu button click button get.
All right, so we have, here's what's
Out of list
happening.
menu. List
This
with
is
14 items
where
button
it
no
can
indent
get a
get.
little tricky. So what you want to do is you want to actually go into forms mode with your virtual PC cursor. So you'll want to hold down NVDA modifier key plus spacebar. That's going to put you into this. Now you want to hit your applications key.
Menu button collapsed submenu.
Let me make
Get new request
sure.
button.
Okay. And then what happens is it opens up a little menu button underneath it. So after you hit the applications key, when you're focused on it, you can press tab,
Menu button collapsed submenu.
and then you'll hear a menu button that is not labeled, but this is the actual menu items for this request. So we're going to press spacebar on this.
Duplicate 1 of 7.
All right, so now we're in a list. We can down arrow,
Generate code 2 of 7. Pin 3 of 7. Copy SCU. Rename 5 of 7.
and we want to go to rename and press
Dialog.
enter.
Name edit new request.
All right, so the new request is selected, but we're going to do Control A just to make
New request
sure.
selected.
There we go. And then now we're going to type
Unselected.
YouTube and then
YouTube.
dash, and then it's called
Mockbin. Mock.
mockbin,
Insomnia.
so MOCKBIN
Mockbin.
dash get. And then we can press enter,
Get. Insomnia document.
and then that will save it.
Navigation landmark. List.
All right, now we can do NVDA modifier key plus spacebar to get out of that forms mode. And now if we go back to the top of our
Link space.
page and then press
Complementary
E,
landmark filter edit.
that'll go to filter. And then we're going to press B for button until we get to our request.
Menu button collapsed submenu. List with 14 items. Get clickable YouTube dash mockbin dash get button.
Yep, there it is. We can press enter on that. Now it's not going to do anything because we already have it pulled up. Now if we press E again,
Edit multi-line.
it'll get us to our URL field, but so will Control L, which will focus your URL
Out of edit menu
field.
button collapsed submenu.
See if I'm not on it, Control L,
Edit multi-line space. Out of edit multi-line space.
and then
Out of edit
that
menu button
should
collapsed. Edit
focus
multi-line
it.
space. Out of edit.
Okay. All right, so now that we have this request in here, or the URL in here, let's go back over and look at our next step.
Mockbin dot.
So we're going to Alt Tab back over to the browser, and then Control Shift Tab
Selection removed.
back to
Send your first request bar.
Insomnia. Okay, we're going to down arrow.
7 dot. In a document, comma, select the debug tab, comma, then new request dot. In a collection, comma, select new request dot.
And see, it's kind of telling us how we could have created a new request, but we already went through that.
8 dot. In the new request modal colon.
And then now it's going to tell us what to do in our new request modal.
List with 3 items, 1 dot. Enter a request name like return mockbin message dot.
So we entered our name.
2 dot. Select a get method from the drop down dot.
It was already a get method.
3 dot. Click create dot.
And then we had already created it when we said control new.
Out of list 9 dot. Enter your mockbin URL in the request URL input dot.
All right, so we've already put our URL into that address
10
bar.
dot. Click send dot.
Okay, and then we can click send. So let's move over here.
Insomnia.
Alt tab to Insomnia. Now you can click the button send,
Send button.
or we can do control enter, and that will send it. Now we can down
Menu
arrow
button. Tab selected.
a few times till you get to
Tab menu. Tab query. Tab headers. Tab docs. Enter a URL and send to get a response. Select a body type from above to send data.
you should see the request status you got back, or the response status.
Link introduction to Insomnia. 200 OK 700.
200 OK. So we heard that there.
200 OK 707 milliseconds 13B.
And it says how long it took
Menu button collapsed submenu just now.
and how much data was sent back.
200. Menu button collapsed submenu just now.
All right, so and then it says just now. We have some menu buttons here that kind of show some information, but we'll go through those in videos in the future in this series.
Tab selected menu button. Tab headers 10.
So we're just going to down arrow because we're going to be in our main preview.
Tab cookies. Tab timeline. Frame hello comma. World bang.
And then you see our message there, hello world. Okay, so that's how you send your first request in Insomnia. I suggest you look around and kind of understand what the interface here looks like with your screen reader. A lot of times you will find you will need to go into forms mode with NVDA modifier key plus spacebar in order to move around and select different tabs and things like that. But other than that, it works pretty well. So in the next video, we will actually be taking a look at how to send a more advanced request. So, and I can actually tell you exactly what we're going to be looking at.
Send your first request bar Insomnia docs.
All
Send
right,
your first
because
request.
our Insomnia docs, it's going to be the next item in our list. So we're going to go back.
List with 3 items. Start here heading level 2. List with 5 items. Install Insomnia visited link. Send your first. Import your collection or document link.
Okay, import your collection or document. So what I'll be doing is I will actually be showing you how to import a Postman collection, and then we will also look at how to import just a document that might have been exported outside or exported from Insomnia, and then we will move
4 dot.
into
Link set up your local environment dot.
actually setting up your local environment, and then that will get us into actually making more advanced requests where we kind of start to chain things together, and you will also start to see the Django REST API that I will be building out in another series. So I hope you learned something from this video, and if you did, please don't forget to like, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.
Insomnia. Startups with bin dot. OBS to 9 points.